this YouTuber, I don't know if I was 17 or 18. I was like on the brink, but I was at a playlist live and they were like trying to hook up with me. And it's something I never even like thought of again. You know what I mean? It was just like, and obviously it was like an older guy and whatever. And a couple weeks ago, I got a call from that, should I say it? I was reading an article. That Gabby Hannah was trying to sell to them that this YouTuber like hooked up with me when I was like underage and that it was fucked up. And I was like, what if this was my trauma?
Dead to me, R.I.P. buried.
I hooked up with Cody Co when I was 17 and he was 25.
Okay, I think I might be ready to piss on you.
Okay. Teach me some slang. Teach me some teen slang.
Well, I was gonna like write it.
Alright, so I'm way too old to be on YouTube.
Gabby Hannah at a playlist live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up.
What the do you mean?
Daddy, yes. Oh my god.
Being the epitome of white trash that they called me.
So this means that Tana Mongeau is accusing you of statutory, and she's not trying to hide that.
This isn't just some crazy tea. It was a crime.
One time, I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage. Watch it. And he was like, oh my god, thank you for telling me. And then he
Besides the fact that you collabed with me.
No, yeah.
Nothing, right?
Yeah,
never good.
that's the peak of my career.
So then why was that shocking at all?
I just wanted you to know.
Okay.
I am seeing a lot of replies of people saying, well, Keem, you knew about this alleged statutory of Tana Mongeau by Cody Co for years, and you didn't say anything. You're a horrible, horrible person.
I meant to say I want your in me, which I don't even know why I wanted to say that. It's not even like hot or like I want your in me. I don't even know. I meant to say something like that. Bagel. I wouldn't put that on my. I wouldn't put that on Cameron Dallas's apple before I ate it. What do you mean on a bagel?
Say.
He f***ed me with a toothbrush.
In my mind, I was like, if I don't try something, it's gonna eat me alive. I leaned in for a kiss.
He pecked my mouth. I was so confused.
To add to that, of course, my boyfriend didn't know how old you were because you dress and look way older than you actually are. You post content like, I got banged with a toothbrush, spit or swallow, why I rave naked, and other seriously inappropriate content, and you swear like a trooper, then you try and pull out the, oh, I'm just an innocent 17-year-old minor card. We know what you're trying to do, and we're not buying it, Tana.
Child stars have been aged up and hypersexualized for centuries. From Shirley Temple in a tiny dress, dancing and singing for grown men, blushing at their affections and giving them kisses, all the way through to Ariana Grande on the Nickelodeon set being made to simulate things that are, well, not appropriate. This has been a centuries-long issue in Hollywood that is always needed to change. However, over the years, there have been many rules in Hollywood that have changed, like the child labor laws. And that's why we saw in the 80s and 90s an influx of child stars who were twins, like Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, Dylan and Cole Sprouse, and many others. Due to the long hours that child stars are working, having twins on set meant that child labor could be doubled with little to no effect on the studio. This is because child labor in Hollywood had to be regulated. And regulation means that child exploitation is less likely to happen. It's not the best solution, but it's a solution. It's not a happy ending, it's an ending.
Is this a happy ending or a sad ending?
It's an ending, that's enough.
But what happens when a child star is unregulated? Or in an unregulated arena that has no rules? Well, this is where we get into the lack of regulation in a very new phenomena of internet child stars / influencers. On YouTube, you have to be 13 years old in order to create a channel for yourself. to watch videos that aren't designated on the YouTube Kids app. And 13 is subsequently when you can start creating videos on your own YouTube channel, as in uploading yourself to the internet, where, as we know, the internet is forever. So it's unsurprising that with 30% of children aged 8 to 12 listing as wanting to be YouTubers as their profession, that some people may want to get a head start early. Introducing Tana Mongeau, a child influencer / star who created their channel almost 10 years ago in 2015, whilst being a minor on the app, gaining virality and fame for her themed story times. The barely legal influencer became extremely popular with young people and adults alike, gaining 2 million subscribers on her main channel by her first year in 2016. Now, recently, the story of a 17-year-old Tana Mongeau being statutory R-worded by a 25-year-old Cody Co, another famous influencer with over 6 million subscribers, raised questions to do with internet safety and minors. And what happens when internet stars and celebrities and people of interest and influencers get aged up and sexualized long before they've even come of age? As many people on the internet did not take these claims and allegations seriously, although she has been vocal about what it is that she has alleged Cody Co to have done all those years ago. And this is mainly because I believe, well, Tana Mongeau has been her entire YouTube career. But that led me to the question, why wasn't Tana Mongeau shielded and protected by the adults around her? And did those who attempted to shield her have her best interests at heart? I'm looking at you, Gabby Hannah. And why is there literally no smoke for creators like Shane Dawson and Jason Nash and even Freely the Banana Girl, who I also believe have impacted and have been extremely inappropriate with Tana when she was a minor? They have faced little to no real repercussions. This story is a story with twists and turns and a tangly web of lies and deceit. And speaking of twisted tangles, today's video is proudly sponsored by Twisted Tangle. You see what I did there? I know, I hate me too. Let's just get into it. Twisted Tangle is a unique puzzle game where you have to pretty much immerse yourself into unknotting a bunch of twisted knots. There are more than 1,000 levels on this application, and it also has new levels coming regularly. It is free to download, and you can even play the game without having Wi-Fi, which makes it perfect to play while you're on the toilet. I'm not even joking. So instead of endlessly doom scrolling on social media, you could literally be playing Twisted Tangle and exercising your mind. And I will definitely be playing Twisted Tangle whilst I am up thousands and thousands of miles above the earth, flying over to Mexico to my all-inclusive adults-only holiday where I will attempt to forget that I have children. Because you can play Twisted Tangle without any Wi-Fi. You can download Twisted Tangle by using the download link in the description box down below, or you can scan this QR code over here. So if you're seeking a sense of achievement or a mental workout, definitely check out Twisted Tangle, and thank you so much to Twisted Tangle for sponsoring today's video. And without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Starting with, who is Tana Mongeau? Which I'm sure a lot of you know, but it's nice to have a backstory. This is very interesting, so stay tuned, keep with me. Tana Mongeau, a prominent YouTuber and social media personality, has navigated a complex landscape of public scrutiny and sexualization since her career began. Her experiences reflect the broader trends in how young people and young figures, particularly women, are portrayed and perceived on social media platforms. The phenomenon of aging up where individuals are depicted and perceived as much older than they actually are, plays a significant role in the dynamics of their public perception and personal identity. In early 2015, Tana Mongeau uploaded her very first YouTube video, marking the start of her journey and rise to fame. Growing up as an only child in Las Vegas, Tana had a distinctive upbringing that provided ample material for her Storytime videos, a genre that was only just beginning to gain traction on the platform. Her initial videos originally attracted hundreds of thousands of views, quickly establishing her as one of YouTube's most prominent Storytime content creators. Hannah's stories range from the dreadful encounters with a hairdresser to the infamous "I got banged with a toothbrush" video.
He f***ed me with a toothbrush!
Her bold and outrageous narratives cemented her reputation as a wild party girl with very few boundaries. As her channel grew, this wild child persona began to define her, influencing almost every decision it is that she made. However, despite attempts to clean up her image, Tana really struggled to regain the trust of her audience as well as the industry after continually breaking it. This is the first part of Tana's story, a notorious party girl which, despite her series of bad decisions and scandals, still managed to emerge and stay on top. Many of us, including myself, were introduced to Tana Mongeau as a teenager, recording story times in her Las Vegas bedroom. Her tales, whilst unbelievable for many at her young age, soon pretty much defined her brand. Unapologetically herself, Tana rose to viral fame in 2015, a period before the adpocalypse affected YouTube, when the beauty community was thriving, with eye-catching thumbnails and clickbait titles dominating the recommended page. In this environment, the Storytime genre emerged, with Tana as a leading figure. In a video made by Tiffany Ferg titled "Let's Discuss the Storytime Era," commentator Tiffany analyzed this period of YouTube history, basically talking about the rise and fall of the Storytime era. And even Tiffany pointed out Tana Mongeau as one of the leading figures of the Storytime era, basically pointing out that there are a lot of content creators around that era who were making content that was specifically geared towards a younger generation of teens and tweens, whereas Tana Mongeau was kind of gliding that edge between tweens and teens and adulthood.
There definitely was an element of luck in her rise to fame. Right place, right time, right content. But also, Tana's stories were uniquely unfiltered, which was super rare for like a 15 or 16-year-old on YouTube at the time. Compared to some other popular female creators like Alicia Marie, Lord DIY, My Life is Ava, who were appealing to younger viewers via sanitized, Disney-fied, PG-13 kinds of videos to preteen or young teen viewers, Tana seemed older, edgy. She did still have a young audience, but she captivated them with a very different approach. For many viewers, Tana became like the big sister they never had, who was not shy about sharing all the juicy details, without shame or any regard for trying to be a good influence for her young viewers.
This marked a distinct shift in the YouTube community from skits and very overly produced content, stage content as well as comedy, to a more authentic and real perspective. Tana embodied a very brutally honest and unfiltered approach to this newfound interest in YouTube, the Storytime era. The oldest video on Tana's channel, The Hairdresser from Hell, was released in 2015 and has since garnered over 4 million views. In it, she recounts an experience at a hairdresser's, delivering the story with engaging charisma and humor. Launching one of the most iconic quotes from Tana Mongeau back in the 2015s and 16s, which is "Bleach and tone. Bleach and tone."
No, I'm here for a bleach and tone. Like, bleach and tone, bleach and tone. If you're gonna leave a comment to tell me to not cuss or to stop cussing, you can suck my
However, it was her stalker series that skyrocketed her to fame. On July 22nd, 2015, Tana uploaded My Creepy Stalker Story, the first installment of the series, which has since received over 1.5 million views. She continued to update her audience on the stalker situation, which felt like her audience were coming along with her on this journey, to eventually revealing her stalker's identity. Despite skepticism from members of the audience who felt that she was embellishing her stories to make them seem more engaging, Tana's dramatic ways of telling these stories literally captivated her audience. So many, she became like a big sister, especially to high schoolers. She would do Q&A sessions where she would answer questions on how to deal with bullying.
And now I guess to touch on bullying, because that was the thing that I got the most questions about for sure, is like, hey Tana, I'm getting bullied, like people are so rude, I want to start a YouTube channel but these girls make fun of me, or like whatever. And bullying sucks, you know. I can't sit here and say like, oh, don't be sad, everything happens for a reason. When people are talking down to you, or people are bullying you via social media or making fun of you or whatever it is, it sucks, you know. It's not a happy feeling no matter what. Like, I can't say that it is. And whoever you are, if you're being bullied, just know that you don't deserve that, and that I love you and that I'm here for you.
There were a lot of young people who really looked up to Tana, offering a stark contrast to a lot of other content creators of that era who were doing very PG-friendly, family-friendly content in that time. Tana's more edgier approach to content and more mature content set her apart. Some of her most popular videos include titles like I Got Banged with a Toothbrush, where she addresses a wild rumor, and I Fought a Grown Couple at the Airport, which lives up to its dramatic title. Through stories like these, Tana personified the candidness that defined the Storytime era on YouTube. By 2016, after starting her channel merely 1 year ago, Tana Mongeau had amassed over 2 million subscribers, pretty much solidifying herself as a fully fledged internet celebrity. She began releasing merchandise and even embarked on her first meet and greet tour, which was called Hello Tana.
Hi guys, it's Tana Mongeau.
During this period, she also collaborated with other popular creators like Jonah Green, Shannon Rose, who infamously filmed a dead body with a young Tana Mongeau, Ricky Dillon, and Cody Co. Tana's star continued to rise at an astronomical level. However, her success was not without its controversy. To be honest, her entire brand just centered around being, well, problematic. A theme that would persist as she continued to navigate her newfound fame. However, this captures the beginning of Tana Mongeau's rise to fame, setting the stage for the tumultuous path that will lay ahead. Tana's rise to fame was fast, and many would suggest that she was entirely unprepared for what lay ahead. Alongside her success was an element of sexualization that surrounded her public image, an image that she had created all on her own. And several factors contributed to this level of sexualization. Firstly, the nature of her content would often involve very explicit topics, as well as sensationalized stories, which, whilst captivating to the audience, also painted her out to be a very hypersexualized figure. Secondly, the thumbnails and titles of her videos would often use very provocative imagery and language, which catered to and perpetuated this image. Thirdly, the sexualization of Tana Mongeau on other platforms such as Instagram, as well as Twitter, offered an amplification of this sexualization. The nature of these websites, as well as the algorithmic preference of the individual searching this kind of content, garnered her more engagement. Tana's frequent posting at this time of suggestive photographs, as well as posts about her openness with her own sexuality, further cemented her as a sexualized public figure. Additionally, the media played a role in this. Public commentary, commentator videos, drama channels, gossip columns, comment sections, often focused on her physical appearance as well as her sexual exploits and relationships, rather than her creative content and entrepreneurial spirit. This kind of coverage contributes and amplifies a narrative that emphasizes as well as exploits her sexuality. And this, whether intentionally or unintentionally, aged up Tana Mongeau in the eyes of the public. She was aged up to much older and more mature than she actually was. And due to the adult nature of her content, it prompted the question of whether minors can or should have the ability to self-regulate their own content, specifically on YouTube, especially if that content ages them up. The phenomena of aging up refers to the portrayal of young people, specifically minors, being depicted as older or more mature than they actually are. This trend is specifically prevalent in the role of young female celebrities, actors, actresses, or even internet influencers and public figures. And the effects of aging up can have significant impacts on individuals such as Tana Mongeau. For Tana Mongeau, aging up manifested in several different ways. From a young age, she was dressed, styled, and portrayed in a manner that was more typical for somebody much older, including her engagement in adult-themed content. As a result, audiences often perceived her as being much more mature, which can lead to unrealistic expectations and pressures. Pressures that were unfortunately unfair to somebody who was actually the age that Tana Mongeau was. And the consequences of aging up is far-reaching. Young public figures are often subject to adult criticism and scrutiny despite their actual age and maturity. I mean, think of Britney Spears. She was brought to us in Hit Me Baby One More Time back in the early 90s, dressed in school uniform. Nothing it is that Britney Spears herself did besides dancing was provocative or overly sexualized, but it set the scene for how she was going to be viewed her entire career, even at age 16. Shortly after the mainstream success of that song, we saw her grace the 1999 cover of Rolling Stone, dressed in nothing but pajama negligee, holding a Tinky Winky doll with her blouse open, exposing her bra on the telephone like she's having a late night call with a gentleman caller. She was 16 years old in that photo there. But if that wasn't even bad enough, the writing in this Rolling Stone article was even worse. It was literally just filled with suggestive language. Britney Spears extends a honeyed thigh across the length of the sofa, leaving one foot on the floor as she does so. Her blonde streaked hair is piled so high, exposing two little diamond earrings on each earlobe. Her face is fully made up, down to the carefully applied lip liner. The baby fat logo of Spears' pink t-shirt is descended by her ample chest, and her silky white shorts, with dark blue piping, cling snugly to her hips. She cocks her head and smiles receptively. I mean, Britney Spears' figure and body was spoken about so extensively that when she did an interview over in Europe, somewhere in Europe, I don't know what country this is, girl, they were speaking about her breasts. This conversation is being had with a 16-year-old girl. Take a look.
There's one subject we didn't discuss. What was that? Everyone's talking about it.
What?
Well, your breasts.
My breasts.
You seem to get furious when a talk show host comes up with this subject. Okay, in general, what do you think about breast implants? Just in general.
Well, I think if that's what you want to do and that would make you happy, then I see nothing wrong with it. But I haven't done that. But I think it's sad that people, think I've done that because that makes them want to go out. And, some of the fans that look up to me, they either think bad of me or they may want to go out and do that. But that's not my fault because the press started that. But
exactly.
If you want to do that, that's fine. But I personally wouldn't do that. So.
Okay, so that's not enough. Let's talk about Brooke Shields. Brooke Shields was 11 years old when she was made to kiss seductively Keith Carradine, who was 27 at the time, in the 1978 film Pretty Baby, in which she played a prostitute. And that wouldn't be the first, nor would it be the last time that she was sexualized in the media. At 14, she shot Blue Lagoon, which was a Hollywood adaptation of the novel by the same name, where cousins grew up on a desert island and fall in love as teens. The movie featured excessive amounts of nudity. But even whilst in a podcast while Brooke is discussing how uncomfortable all of this made her feel at the time as a young 14-year-old, the dude who was opposite her, Mr. Atkins, shrugged off the experience despite how it made Brooke feel. This is what he had to say in a podcast alongside Brooke. He said, "The chemistry between us was just amazing. There was a lot of great moments that went on there," he said. "I think a lot of that innocence that came off in the film is what made it work even more." And then there's Endless Love, another movie that Brooke Shields was involved with that contained immense amounts of sexual nudity. And of course, there was those goddamn Calvin Klein ads.
I've always thought beauty must be as isolating as genius. When people look at you, they're so dazzled you must never know if they actually see you, the deep and complicated person you really are. I felt that about you instantly.
My mother warned me about boys like you. Mama said he's only interested in my Calvins.
Calvin Klein jeans.
This kind of aging up can lead to immense amount of pressure to maintain a certain image and behave in ways that are directly in odds with their mental developmental stage. Even actresses such as Elle Fanning was honestly given a lucky escape by, I guess, not really being quote-unquote hot enough for a casting. Elle recalls a story in a roundtable conversation where she speaks about not getting a role because she wasn't viewed as quote-unquote f***able.
I was doing this, I was trying out for a movie. I didn't get it. I don't even think they ever made it, but it was a father-daughter road trip comedy. I remember this. And there was someone involved with the project that the feedback, which I didn't hear from my agents and things, because they were very protective. They wouldn't tell me things like this, but I heard it from an outside party, which I also like. That filtration system is really important because there's probably a lot more damaging comments that were said that they filtered out, but this one got to me. And I was 16. I was literally 16 years old. And this person said, "Oh, she didn't get the father-daughter road trip comedy because she's unable." I was like, at 16. Yes. Back then, like, is that a good thing to see such a mirror of yourself at that age? You know, I don't feel like it damaged me, but it definitely made me very aware of myself, you know?
For Tana Mongeau, this aging up meant navigating the complexities of adult relationships, business decisions, and public controversies at a much younger age than most. And let's be honest, aging up can have its psychological impacts. The pressure to conform to a more older, more mature persona can really affect a young person's self-esteem, mental health, and personal identity. Young people growing up in the media with an aged-up persona might struggle with the dichotomy of their public image versus their private life, leading to feelings of confusion and alienation because they're not like the rest of the kids. And when it comes to this lack of understanding of personal identity, I don't think anybody can understand that more than Tana Mongeau. Because if you were to remove sex from Tana Mongeau, what do you really have? Probably a question that Tana Mongeau has struggled with her entire YouTube career. Tana Mongeau has always been somewhat of a problematic YouTuber. So much so that I would honestly say that that is genuinely a part of her brand. From scams to scandals to the infamous TanaCon, a convention that left individuals sunburned, dehydrated, and honestly just feeling let down by their favorite YouTuber. The most notoriously disorganized YouTuber. A YouTuber who has continuously been dragged as long as I've remembered on YouTube for not even being able to organize and attend on time her collaborations with other influencers.
I think you're here.
I don't deserve to be here. I think that's the first thing I need to say. Like, anyone in the comments below, like,
Okay.
before being like, she doesn't deserve to be here, like, I know.
She's aware.
Like, I'm fully aware.
I love a self-aware sister.
Yes, exactly. Sister, snap.
Okay, so anyway, an overwhelming amount of you told us to get the fuck together and film.
Yeah.
So here we are. We tried a few days ago, and the universe was like, you guys aren't ready to be together. So we both went to church. We figured it out.
Praise Jesus.
Yeah, you guys thought that she could host a convention. This girl can't even run a bath, let alone an organized event. But beyond all of that, I've always felt like Tana Mongeau was a product of her upbringing. A story that she seldom tells because of, well, legalities. Tana has had a tumultuous childhood in which she is referenced not really being raised by her parents. She stated that at the age of 14, she pretty much moved out of her parents' house and was spending extended amounts of time at her best friend's family home, to whom she sees that household as her family and attributes them to raising her. I mean, she frequently spends her holidays, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of those kind of things at her friend's family home.
I love Amari's family. I feel like I spent 70% of my time growing up in high school at his parents' house, and they were always there for me through thick and thin and ups and downs and all of my crazy antics.
Honey, I'm home.
I just almost yelled that. It's to the point where they definitely feel like my parents.
Dad's just driving. Oh, what? Your parents?
I would literally die for Amari. Amari's like my family, my friends, all in one. There are weeks that go by where Amari is like the only light in my like darkness.
Tana and I first met here in Vegas at a party in middle school. There was a room full of kids that were drinking, and then there was another room where all the little sober kids were being good kids, and Tana and I were, of course, in the drinking room. Right off the bat, I was like, this girl's going to the grave with me.
I remember literally being in high school and I would never get sleep because my parents were always fighting, and I would go to school exhausted all day and then come to Amari's after school every day and nap, which probably up my sleeping schedule and habits, and now that's why I am the way I am.
I mean, it's no secret that Tana Mongeau grew up poor in Las Vegas, and she speaks quite openly at times in various different podcasts about her childhood growing up in Las Vegas with a unloving family.
You know what I mean? Like, my parents never like instilled anything that parents instill in you, like structure, responsibility, or schedule. I dropped out of high school at 15 because I couldn't even like go to school on time. Like, so many of the mistakes I feel like I made in the beginning of my career were from lack of so many things like I needed, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like now I'm finally like hiring life coaches and learning that and like getting therapy and fix it. So if anything,
There was no obedience growing up?
No, I was rebelling against my parents like my entire life for sure. Because I don't really ever remember getting along with my family. Maybe I was like at like it's like 7 or 8 we got along type. But like after that, we definitely, it was just like very chaotic, very rebellious, very like butting of heads. I moved
Is that
out at
because
15.
they're very rebellious in the same way you are? Or
I don't know how to put it. I do. It's just dark, and I get in trouble talking about it. It's very weird. My family was just very like abusive and just not dope. You know, the way they raised me wasn't it. They just neglected me in like a lot of ways. I definitely didn't get like proper healthcare, proper food, proper schooling, proper love, proper nurturing, proper schedule.
But it's cool to see you like
I feel like
rise from that. Yeah.
That's the reality of it all. You know, we're not always all raised by like perfect families, and sometimes we just have to, you know, pick shit up and raise ourselves and whatever the fuck. And like, I definitely had to do that, like raise myself from 15 to 22 now. So if I can help people
amazing.
like with anything, it's like, you can do it. Like, don't kill yourself, you know, as dark as it is, it's the truth. I think it's like something that everyone should be so grateful for. Cause it's like when you don't have that, it's like, you feel it 100%, like holidays, all that shit. I definitely always, cause I like, to be real, my family's like definitely very dead to me. Like, so like, I'll probably never talk to them again. Like, it's just, we're not cool. That's how it is. So Amari, my best friend, his family kind of kind of took me in, and they're kind of like my mom and dad, and like I go to their house for the holidays and stuff. But even that like shows me the importance of like what it takes for them as a family of 3 kids to bring in like a 4th kid and like, put a stocking up for me every year and a plate out for me and like care. Like it's just it really does show me like, you know what I mean? Like it's a blessing. It's not something you just get. So that is why like too on holidays and all that shit, I'm online. Like if you know, if you don't feel love today, like I love you. Like I think I am just kind of like the island for misfits.
And through these numerous interviews, we learned that her relationship with her parents was extremely strained. And in fact, she has no relationship with them pretty much at all, to the point that her family actually sued her in 2020 for some things that she detailed in her upbringing from her MTV show Tana Turns 21.
Do you remember the exact house?
Yeah, for sure.
This one?
Yeah. So ghetto, huh? Isn't that so insane that I lived there for like 5 years?
Oh my God.
Imagine that house like filled with bugs.
Really?
There was cockroaches like crawling up the walls like every day. And my dad would just be like, the house isn't infested. Vegas has bugs. He would so ghetto. Okay, can we leave? I'm so happy that I never have to live like this again.
Yeah, I'm down to dip.
I was very independent. Like I did everything on my own for as long as I can remember. Just even my meals and my money and getting to school and doing anything. That's one of the main reasons I dropped out of school. Like it was just like nothing was a functioning routine, and I never learned that. I was very much so independent. And anytime I really needed to fall on a parental figure for anything, it was always my best friend's family. I've said that before, and then I've been in court having to almost pay millions of dollars for slander.
Really?
You
so
can
it's-
slander your parents?
Apparently you
Like, what
can.
damage are you going to do to them?
Yeah,
So are you going through litigation right now with your parents?
This was
It's over.
This was like 2-3 years ago, probably.
And did you guys settle?
Yeah,
out of
because
court?
it's basically, I guess I can talk about this. I don't know. I mean,
Well, did you
my
sign
lawyers-
an NDA?
I signed a non-disparagement.
So don't disparage them. That means
Yeah.
you can be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll disparage
I
them.
received a letter, that basically said, you said these things on this reality show. When I was on MTV and I had a show, we went and kind of toured my childhood homes, and I said a lot of things that someone in court could say, create a loss of income, or which is so untrue. It was definitely just a cash grab. Everyone was very, in my opinion, but everyone was very aware of it being like that. And it went back and forth for a while. And then it got to the point where it would have been, and this was peak COVID, so it was all over Zoom and just awful for my mental state as well. Like having to just like relive so much stuff all the time that to me, I felt like I had been beginning to put to rest. And it got to a point where it would have been years in court, and it would have been a public trial, and it would have been like medical subpoenas all the time, and just like so much shit.
You couldn't get rid of it on like before a trial?
I tried as hard as I possibly could.
What the fuck?
And I don't want to see them. I don't want to talk to them ever again. I don't want to feel that way ever again. I don't want to watch them defend that all the shit that they did to me was that they were good parents, just watching, in my opinion, lie. And we settled, and I had to pay them like $200,000.
Wow.
That must
felt like shit. Oh my God. That was like the day in my head where they really they were dead to me. You know what I mean? Because if you can do that to your kid.
I'm mind blown.
Yeah, you suck.
What was it that you said that they sued that they took issue with? Without saying it's true, just saying this is what
because the way that type of lawsuit works, especially because you can do it 2 ways. You can pay a lawyer a lump sum, or pay a lawyer hourly, or pay a lawyer, retain them to go do it, or you can pay a lawyer a percentage of if you win.
Yeah.
And that's what they had. You know what I mean? That type of lawyer. And that's scarier too, because then the lawyer is like hungry to, because if they don't win, they don't win any money. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's just 1,000 anecdotal sentences. Like, oh, there were roaches in my house
just a
growing
bunch
up.
of shit.
Or, oh, I remember, like, you know what I mean? Hypothetically, I could have said something like, oh, I didn't eat for a week growing up. Like there was no food, or there was roaches in the house, or
So they just itemized all this shit.
itemized everything, and then I just had to sit in court and sit there and go through every single sentence and defend it as hard as I can. Like I was talking about how when I got to LA, one of the first things I spent money on was an immense amount of dental work, and then it was because I never really
had dental care.
You can't say it. You can't say it. Yeah, but you can say you got a bunch of dental work, and we can infer what that means.
Yeah. Everything. It was crazy for sure.
Damn.
But I definitely.
And you had to sit through that, and they would sit there too on Zoom.
A lot of it, luckily, thankfully, was mediation based, where I would say something to a mediator, and the mediator would go say it to them, and then they would say something to the mediator, and the mediator would come back and say it. Which, honestly, I think really saved my mental health a lot.
That's pretty incredible that you survived that. That sounds really fucking.
Yeah, it's hard.
crazy.
I'll definitely have to unpack a lot of trauma, but in my life, but you know what I mean? I got a lot of therapy about it, and the therapist was helped me work through the fact that, like, why do I want to give peace to people who never gave me peace, and type of thing.
You want to give peace to them?
No, like if they were dying, like I would only be saying like goodbye for them.
Would you do that if they were like on their deathbed? Would you
No.
say anything? No.
Mm-mm.
Being sued by your own parent, I feel like it's like a stab in the heart.
it's
Like, what the hell?
We weren't in a good place, when it happened, I guess, but I didn't. That's just such a further thing, you know what
Yes,
I mean?
and it's further,
it's so hard. I hate having to talk about it because me, that's the only time I can't talk about shit the way I want to is when there's legality, and it drives me. And that's what sucks too, is feeling silenced about it, for sure. But like, I don't even know. Like, they always, in my opinion, I think that my financial success excited them. There were a lot of instances where I was paying for things. You know what I mean, for them by force. My 18th birthday was the happiest day of my life because I'd been doing this for like 3 years, and they were, I was a minor. They were controlling my finances.
Really?
So, absolutely. Wow.
They were collected. Like if you got a check from YouTube, they would take it.
Or like not give you. Oh my God, really?
They had access to it.
I mean, yeah. I don't even know. I get so scared to say anything. Because God, I would hate to be back in court. But and it still is. Emotionally for me, I would love to be able to just tell my fucking, and I thought I was until I, received that shit. Like I thought I was able to.
What's the consequence of doing that, I wonder? Like if you consulted with an attorney, you're like, I just want to say everything. Like what happens? What's
another lawsuit?
Another lawsuit.
If that's their journey.
How can they win that lawsuit though? Or you don't even want to go through that. You don't want to go through
I don't want to go through it.
Yeah.
I really, really, really
Yeah,
don't.
I get
and
it.
it's a lot of money and like it's
Time,
and-
emotional,
Yeah.
It's just
and
terrible.
I remember thinking at one point, like the lawyer, again, their lawyer was so hungry because it was based on that. And the things the lawyer would just come and say, like, are you sure you want to be in court? Because we're going to pitch it like this, this, and this.
We're going to drag it out. And
Kenna, you're a drugged out Hollywood, awful piece of shit who doesn't love
You're
their
like,
family.
yeah, I
and you
said
have
that.
two sweet, two sweet elderly parents who just loved you so much and were the best. Like, it scares you.
Yeah, it's so
thinking, like,
bullshit.
is a
That's not how
court
the world
gonna-
works.
Is a court going to side with
0% chance. But it's the emotional battle.
Yeah, but I mean, for a while, I think in that time, I really believed, like, what if people didn't believe me? Which is like scary, I guess.
Yeah.
That's really one of the most fucked up things I've heard.
Yeah.
Empathy H3 unlocked.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I promise you, I'm fine. You don't have to 5150 me at Coachella.
After learning that Tana's parents not only didn't really raise her, but also sued her as an adult and settled for hundreds of thousands of pounds for disparagement, it's not hard to see how an environment of money, sex, and drugs with no limitations can create a literal monster. And Tana's first throw into developing body issues at a grand, almost semi-national scale came from none other than Freely the Banana Girl. Okay, so Tana Mongeau's first real internet drama started with Freely the Banana Girl. Tana had posted a video about how she stays skinny, and Freely the Banana Girl, a notorious raw vegan within the vegan community, came out with a video basically stating that Tana Mongeau was going to get fat and she was going to be overweight by the time she was in her 30s, and it was just a whole goddamn mess. In this video, Freely's husband chimes in and says some not so nice things about Tana Mongeau.
And yeah, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already done that, and follow me on all my social media.
She's gonna blow out, man. By the time she's your age, Freely, she's gonna be like 10 kilos.
Well, this video really should be called how to get fat.
How to fight metabolism.
How to be a yo-yo, how to fight metabolism.
She looks washed out, eh?
No, she's like, look.
How to stay skinny.
Leave Tana alone.
She's not even skinny.
Leave Tana alone, okay? I can see that your skin is breaking out quite a bit there, so you're gonna benefit so much from going vegan. I used to have acne and it all cleared up when I went vegan and I food combined properly.
The video is gonna be a little bit of a long one, so yes, Freely, you're going to have to split up your reactions to this in a few parts in order to get more views. I'm so sorry. I have been vegan for a little bit now, and I love it. The aspect of Freely that does want people to go vegan and does want to help people change their bodies and does want to help change the world and save the animals and all that stuff is so amazing, and that's not at all what I am here today to criticize. A video to ask Freely why she is a bitch. But your boyfriend did go on to say that I look anemic and I look like I'm dying. Well, I don't know. If I was anemic, I'd be pretty offended by that. And Freely, I know that you didn't say that, but you let your boyfriend say that, and you edited and uploaded a video of him saying something like that. Now, if I wasn't a bully, I would have probably cut that out, you know? In reality, a lot of people get acne because of hormonal and teenage reasons. Yes, going vegan does clear your skin. My skin is glowing now that I'm vegan. You should go vegan too. Going up to young teenagers that were overweight or had like a little bit of extra gained weight and calling them fat, calling them overweight, and calling them disgusting. Then they told them to go vegan, but that's what makes it all okay.
Now, I couldn't find any reference to this in old videos or old tweets or anything like that, but what I could see online, it seemed as if the audience, Tana Mongeau's audience, was calling Freely the Banana Girl's husband a PDF file. In response to all of this, Freely the Banana Girl made a video basically stating that Tana Mongeau couldn't hide behind being a minor whenever it suited her because she was coming off as provocative online. This is what Freely the Banana Girl had to say about all of that.
So what I really want to address in this video is these serious allegations of pedophilia towards my boyfriend. Your boyfriend is a pedophile. He's a 60-year-old pedophile. He's a pedophile. He's a pedophile. I have seen this comment everywhere around the internet, and it is seriously disgusting. It is really fucking disgusting. Tana, you have as your Twitter bio, this is how Tana describes herself. This weird mixture of a 12-year-old girl and a 45-year-old woman that you kind of want to fuck. So you have this as your bio, which is super inappropriate, but then you have the gall to call my boyfriend a pervert, make out he is a pedophile because he makes some random passing joke about your clickbait, your inappropriate clickbait title that you feel comfortable uploading to millions of people on the internet. This totally disrespects and discredits all those poor boys and girls who are victims, legit victims of molestation and abuse. And you should be really ashamed of yourself for that. This is a very serious matter and should never be made a joke of. To add to that, of course, my boyfriend didn't know how old you were because you dress and look way older than you actually are. You post content like, I got banged with a toothbrush, spit or swallow, why I rave naked, and other seriously inappropriate content, and you swear like a trooper, then you try and pull out the, oh, I'm just an innocent 17-year-old minor card. We know what you're trying to do, and we're not buying it, Tana. People on Twitter have even been sued for making such serious allegations. Instead of you deterring your fans from making serious pedophilia allegations, you just encourage them, and that makes you and them liable for like serious lawsuit of defamation and slander. This is probably one of the worst things you have done because I have friends who have been molested, and it is horrible, okay, what they went through. So for you to just make light of it and for you to just have the gall to involve my boyfriend in such a serious allegation is just disgusting, and it makes me lose all respect for you.
Now, at the point that this video would have been made, Freddie the Banana Girl would have been around her early 30s. We're talking anywhere from 31 to 32, which is subsequently the age that I am at this present moment. I'm 32 years old. I know I look young. Okay, you don't need to tell me in the comments. I know. Black don't cry. However, one of the number one things that people say when things have taken place so many years ago was it was a different time in YouTube. And I really struggle to understand that concept, because as a 32-year-old woman at this present moment in time, I just really can't understand why any person my age would be going out of their way to drag a 17-year-old girl for not only their physical appearance, but also their actions. Like, don't get me wrong, I love me some Adam McIntyre. I know he's recently turned 20 or 21, but girl, I'm not arguing with Adam McIntyre. For what? For what reason? He's a baby to me. So if after this video that Freddie goes, it was a different time and I'm so sorry, girl, I don't want to hear it. Save it for somebody who cares, because quite frankly, you were way too grown to be saying these things about a 17-year-old undeveloped body. Like, the frontal cortex of the feminine brain doesn't even fully develop until they are literally 25 years old. Their body hasn't fully formed. We're not even 100% sure that this young girl has fully gone through puberty, and you are making comments on their dietary decisions and their figure? Fuck you, all the way to hell. Be gone, witch, be gone. The next situation that took place for Tana Mongeau was the iDubbbz N-word controversy. Now, if you aren't aware, let me bring you back to the early 2010s of YouTube, because iDubbbz was a huge deal back then. He had a series called Content Cop, and he would do content cops on loads of different people. Now, what prompted his content cop on Tana Mongeau was Tana Mongeau went onto Twitter and started critiquing iDubbbz about his use of the N-word. At this point in time, iDubbbz was a edgelord commentator who was basically saying that the N-word shouldn't be a protected word, that anyone should be able to say it regardless of race, and that it is just a word, and if you get upset by a word, then F you.
We are very f***ing stupid to hold the word n***er at this colossally high standard, whereas every other slur, that can be used in a comedic sense or an editorial sense, but not this one, because that one has history. Well, guess what, f***ing retards? All the other ones have history too. But you can't say that one because it's got sort of it's guttural. It's either all okay or none of it's okay.
Well, Tana Mongeau had a completely different opinion on social media. And due to this prompted iDubbbz to make a content cop. Now, in his content cop, he attended a Tana Mongeau meet and greet in which he shows up wearing her merch, hugs her, and says, say the N-word. But he didn't censor himself. He was very vocal with his language. Now, I will say in subsequent years that iDubbbz has come forward, maybe last year or possibly even a year before, to apologize directly to Tana Mongeau for what he believes was harassment of a young lady at that age. He's completely changed his content and completely disengaged from the edgelord community. To many, it seems at his detriment, but it seems as if that's not the kind of engagement it is that he wants from his audience.
I particularly want to apologize to Tana. Tana, I'm sorry. I should have never made that video. I harassed Tana in person and then harassed her online, and that's deplorable behavior. It's so stupid. I'm also sorry to all the black viewers and minority groups who had to put up with that video and put up with, you know, the phrases. I said either it's all okay or none of it's okay. And that's just so dangerous and stupid.
He apologized directly to Tana Mongeau for basically harassing her when she was extremely young doing her meet and greets. For something it is that she said when, I do believe when she said the N-word, she was like 13 years old. And again, that goes hand in hand with the aging up of young YouTubers, especially YouTubers like Tana Mongeau who were hyper because Tana Mongeau was 13. If you're saying the N-word at 13 years old, my problem is not with you. My beef is never with you, girl. My beef is with your parents. Because why in the hell did they make you feel like that was okay to say? I ain't looking at you because you're a kid, my dude. But again, this goes along with the narrative that not many people were viewing Tana Mongeau as a minor. Okay, so the next controversy that I want to talk about is her situation with Shane Dawson. Now, shortly before her 18th birthday, editing Paige here, this is actually incorrect. This was shortly after her 18th birthday, not before. What was before her 18th birthday is this clip from Shane and Friends, where Shane asked her an inappropriate question.
Oh my Wait, can I ask you a side question? Is this, okay, because you just did it. Is this a new thing? So my friend Drew was telling me, he's like, oh my God.
Oh my God, Drew's awesome.
He's like, really? You like him?
Yeah,
You
he's
should
so
hook him up.
adorable.
Fuck him, please.
Please.
He's 20.
Pipe him hard, girl.
Shane Dawson and Tana Mongeau did a collab in which Tana Mongeau decided to pee on him live, in which he even talks about her farting on his phallus and him feeling it.
Okay, I think I might be ready to piss on you.
Okay. I can't catch anything from this, right?
Honestly, you probably can. I just wanted.
You just farted on my dick. I felt it.
I feel like this is totally inappropriate, and it honestly brings up the question to me of why has Shane Dawson managed to skate away pretty much scot-free when half of the stuff it is that he's done is actually kind of gross. Okay, and the most disturbing one for me isn't when Tana Mongeau was a child, but when Tana Mongeau was an adult. Shortly after her 18th birthday, she did a collaboration with Jason Nash from the Vlog Squad. And in that collaboration, she took him out and tried to dress him up in new clothes by taking him on a shopping spree. During this time, Jason Nash details a moment where Tana Mongeau basically had taken some time to dawdle with her things, and he took it as a signal that he should try and kiss her. Because in his words, if he didn't take this opportunity, he would be out of his mind. So take a look at this weird encounter.
We had a bit of an awkward moment. We went into the dressing room. First of all, last night Big Nick was like, dude, she wants to dude. But this is what happened. Tana called me and I was like, do you want to do a thing? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I think she's great. Right. And my first pitch was, great, let's do like a dad makeover or something. And then she goes, let's go on a date.
But I said like a vlog date, like a where we pretend to go on a date for clickbait.
Fair enough. I'm old and I don't know anything about YouTube.
There's nothing wrong in hanging out with us just to collab.
Oh no, I wanted views too.
That's why Jason hangs out with me.
Then we go try the clothes on and she comes in the dressing room with me. The woman goes, do you guys want to go into the dressing room together? And Tana goes, yes.
No, I did not say
yes.
that. I asked her, like, do you care?
You're trying to sleep with Jason?
No!
Both of our cameras are off. And I go, all right, well, let's go. And then she takes like a really long time to leave the dressing room.
I just take a long time. Like, I was like putting both my phones in my pocket, plugging one into the portable charger, like.
In my mind, I was like, if I don't try something, it's gonna eat me alive.
What would you do?
For the rest, I leaned in for a kiss.
He pecked my mouth. I was so confused.
I literally, like, maybe we touched a lip.
Now, granted, Tana Mongeau is not underage at this point, and granted, I know a lot of people in real life, not on the internet, do not ask for consent before they kiss an individual. I'm still in the era of human beings who find it a little bit more, you know, romantic and kind of catching off guard and wooing, if you will. However, in this new generation of social media online, a lot of people like to ask for consent before they do these kinds of things. Maybe that's a generational issue that maybe Jason Nash should have considered as a 40-odd-year-old man when kissing an 18-year-old, but I digress. But my point is exactly that Jason Nash was in his 40s. What in the hell are you kissing a 18-year-old girl for? For what reason? I'd like to know, did you genuinely expect any kind of real long-lasting relationship to happen between you and a young girl? Was it purely sexual? Like, what were your intentions there? Because I imagine Jason Nash now has teenagers to older adult children, and he would be absolutely disgusted if a 40-year-old man went out of their way to kiss his kids. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I think it's weird, right? You can say, oh, Paige, you're being, okay, maybe I'm being a little bit hypersensitive. I can take that. I'll take it on the chin. Maybe I'm being a little bit hypersensitive, but I don't understand what a 40-odd-year-old man would want to kiss a 18-year-old for. I can't even have a conversation with an 18-year-old girl. So what are you kissing them for? Now, after this heavy exploitation of Tana Mongeau when she was a minor, it's not hard to see how she may have developed so many different body issues, as well as complexes surrounding her personal identity. It's almost as if her body wasn't hers before she had the ability to understand her body. And if this is what is being done right in front of our eyes, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to question what may be taking place behind closed doors. Introducing Cody Co. Now, I initially learned about the Cody Co situation and the allegations surrounding him many years ago, as did many other individuals surrounding the commentary community at that time. In fact, the first time I heard about the Cody Co allegations was around the James Charles allegations, where Tati Westbrook had just created her Bye Sister video, and shortly after, James Charles had released his No More Lies video. Due to a lot of people being dragged for seeing James Charles as a predator preemptively before more information became public, despite Jeffree Star sending information to numerous different drama channels about what these allegations were about. It was a weird time on social media where nobody wanted to touch allegations of this nature, due to people getting dragged for outing situations before they were ready to be outed. Because at this point, the No More Lies video was extremely effective for James Charles in being able to clear his name. But basically, nobody at that point in time wanted to make allegations on the internet with no proof or no corroborating evidence. Now, what is my excuse? Well, at the time of the James Charles No More Lies and Tati Westbrook area, I was very much only dealing with that. And also I had hypermethys gravidarum, if you know about it, is the worst kind of illness it is that you can get whilst you are pregnant, girl. And I really was not posting a lot at all, if anything, at that time on social media. I was consumed with my own stuff. I was not consumed with what was going on social media. I'm just gonna keep it a buck and keep it a beaten. However, I wanted to make it clear, because D'Angelo Wallace had stated in his video that amplified this Cody Co situation on social media, that no channels or no big channels had made any videos about it. And I don't know if these channels have miraculously disappeared, but I can distinctly remember a time where I could not move for the Cody Co allegations that were going around in 2018/19. In fact, that's how I learned who Cody Co was, because prior to that moment, I genuinely was not familiar with his content. I had no idea who he was. Now that that's out of the way, a few weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks, D'Angelo Wallace posted a video to his YouTube directly discussing the Cody Co allegations, titled An Uncomfortable Conversation with Cody Co. In this video, D'Angelo Wallace directly addresses Cody Co in first person, in a pointed tone that caused people to reflect on the Cody Co allegations that at this point, for me at least, had been around for years. So, to just give you a brief TLDR, Cody Co is an influencer/YouTuber with 6 million subscribers. Back in 2016, Tana met Cody Co and collabed with him a few times as they met at a party. The pair were seen obviously flirting, and a concerned Gabby Hannah informed Cody Co that she was a minor. Cody Co allegedly thanked Gabby Hannah and then went on to sleep with Tana Mongeau anyway. Now, Tana has referenced this situation publicly on numerous different occasions. Again, I cannot find receipts of all of this. I think they were on my old Samsung hard drive that I lost in 2020. Let's weep. But I definitely remember saving the references that Tana Mongeau had made about Cody Co back in the day, but finding them today in 2024 is virtually impossible, especially with Internet Archive not saving anything from Twitter anymore. Tana Mongeau recently spoke about this at a live event that went viral.
Who's the smallest you've ever had sex with?
Oh my God, no one look at me, Cody Co. I can say that. I was literally 17. I can say that.
And then decided to speak about it in a recent podcast in more detail, basically corroborating that yes, she was a minor when all of these things took place between herself and Cody Co.
I hooked up with Cody Co when I was 17 and he was 25. There was a situation with Gabby Hannah at a Playlist Live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up. This isn't just some crazy tea. It was a crime. I grew up loving him and I think you know what I mean? Like I was just like excited and a fan.
She basically made the very strong allegation that Cody Co had statutory raped her. Now, why is it important to make the distinction of statutory rape? Well, it was because Tana Mongeau was a minor at the time and didn't necessarily not give consent, but at the time, Cody Co would have been 25 and she was the minor. Therefore, they should not have consummated anything between themselves. Now, I don't need to tell you that this is wrong or this is bad. I think we're all on the same page, all of the general consensus that this is ridiculously terrible, especially of a 25-year-old man. However, Cody Co has gone above and beyond to silence the discussion online, which is why D'Angelo Wallace felt it was very important for him to make his video addressing Cody directly. He has been deleting comments as well as moderating things so that certain words don't even come up on his channel. And at this very moment in time, the general public is pretty much infuriated with the lack of response from Cody Co from these extremely condemning allegations, leading many people to believe that these allegations may very well be true, because what person in their right mind wouldn't come forward to clear their name of allegations of them sleeping with a minor when they themselves were a very established adult? Now, my only issue with this whole situation is that I have seen on social media that Gabby Hannah has been sainted in all of this. Now, as somebody who was working as a drama channel at that time, I was very privy to a lot of information that was flowing my way. And what's making me disgusted with the idea that Gabby Hannah has been sainted as, oh my God, she was so nice for just trying to protect Tana in this moment, is because I know for a fact that Gabby Hannah was shopping this information to drama channels for a long time. Now, Tana Mongeau has said this herself. Take a look.
And a couple weeks ago, I got a call from that, should I say it?
Are they doing an article?
That Gabby Hannah was trying to sell to them that this YouTuber like hooked up with me when I was like underage and that it was fucked up. And I was like, what if this was my trauma?
And Keemstar has even corroborated this by making a tweet speaking about the situation. This is what Keemstar had to say. Cody Co statutory rape of Tana Mongeau allegation. This is what I know. Years ago, Gabby Hannah told me in an off-the-record statement that a 25-year-old Cody Co was kissing a 17-year-old Tana Mongeau at Playlist Live in Florida. The age of consent in Florida is 18. Anyone 24 or older hooking up with a 16/17-year-old is statutory rape. Gabby told me that she pulled Cody Co aside to tell him that Tana was 17, and Cody Co said thank you for the warning to Gabby. Gabby said later that night that Cody had sex with Tana, even though she had warned him. I also spoke with Tana to confirm the story, and she confirmed it. But at the time, Tana was upset with Gabby for sharing her story. Business Insider was also made aware of this years ago. There is no new statement from Gabby, but I did get permission to share what I was told years ago. So to be clear, we have Tana Mongeau telling Trisha Paytas on the cancelled podcast that Gabby Hannah had attempted to shop/sell this information over to drama channels before she was ready to share her story.
What if this was my trauma?
We then also have the fact that Keemstar corroborated that this definitely took place and that he was given this information directly from Gabby Hannah at the time.
I am seeing a lot of replies of people saying, well, Keem, you knew about this alleged statutory Tana Mongeau by Cody Co for years and you didn't say anything. You're a horrible, horrible person. Guys, this was told to me years ago off record. I can't just leak that to the internet without knowing it's true, without someone actually going on record and destroying Cody Co's career over something that can't be confirmed. There's no witness on record. I can't just leak that. Please use your brains, all right? I can't just come out with that statement. I wasn't there. I didn't see it with my own eyes. I get told crazy allegations off record on a daily basis. And what my team does is we try to find stuff online to confirm it. And if we can't get some credible stuff online or other witnesses that come out publicly, there's not much we can do. There's not much we can do. We can't put out information that would potentially destroy a YouTuber's career without something solid. Now, what has changed? Well, we have Tana Mongeau on record, and then we have Gabby Hannah's permission of me sharing what I was told years ago. That's what's changed. That's why I'm coming out with this statement now. But I want you guys to use your head. I even had someone saying, well, you didn't go to the police? No, I wasn't there. I didn't witness it. What am I gonna say? Oh, someone told us off record that this happened. We're not sure if it's true or not. What can the police even do with that? You know, I'm the wrong person to go to the police. That would be like Tana Mongeau or Gabby, who were actually there, that can actually, you know, witness the thing and can write out a police statement. And remember, even though like both are now agreeing for these statements to come publicly, it's still an allegation. It's still an allegation. So guys, I hope you can understand these were off record. I can't just leak that to the internet and potentially ruin Cody Co's entire career without anyone going on record.
I also personally know of a few other drama channels of that time period who had also been told this information, as well as Gabby Hannah subliminally saying a story of this exact same narrative directly on her podcast.
One time, I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage, watch it. And he was like, oh my god, thank you for telling me. And then he turned.
Now for me, this is disgusting, deplorable, and out of order. The reason that people like Keemstar decided not to tell their story is because he could not verify it as fact at the time, but also that it wasn't his story to tell. Whilst Tana Mongeau did confirm that information to him off the record, he didn't come forward and tell anything until Tana Mongeau had made it public herself. This for me is the equivalent of Jeffree Star telling the entire YouTube community that it was one of the Dolan twins who was sexually harassed by James Charles back in the day, and yet everybody wasn't supposed to speak about it until it became so ridiculously public that people started talking. Neither one of the Dolan twins have come forward to tell their story. That is not your story to tell. And to know that Gabby Hannah was shopping this information, I can only say shopping because that's only what I've heard from the grapevine within the community. But what Tana Mongeau is saying is she was trying to sell this information.
That Gabby Hannah was trying to sell to them that this YouTuber like hooked up with me when I was like underage, and that it was fucked up, and I was like, what if this was my trauma?
That is not somebody who has your back. That is not somebody who is looking out for you. So when I see comments on the internet, like from this person called M, who said, I want to thank you on behalf of all of the girls out there. You spoke up when you saw something going on that wasn't right. And I want to acknowledge that you were the person that so many girls and women need. I hope you always recognize that you're a good soul, Gabby. I hope you are well. I say fuck you all the way. Fuck you. That is not what took place. She didn't give a fuck about Tana Mongeau. She never gave one single iota. She wanted the world to know what was going on with these other YouTubers who were disgusting. So forgive me, Gabby Hannah, if you want to run to the internet and post your little, you know, Bible quotes as if, you know, the darkness will come to light. Fuck you, bitch. You are the darkness. Fuck you. That's disgusting what you did to her. Disgusting. It became so fucking public by your fucking mouth that she felt compelled to come forward. Luckily and gratefully, we are willing to receive that information. But god damn it, that is not your fucking place. And that's all I have to say about Gabby Hannah. I'm sorry, that really, really upset me that everyone's like, oh my god, Gabby Hannah, bless her. No! No! I'm not going to tell your abuse story until you are ready to tell the world. And if I have your permission, then I will tell others. How dare you take it to drama channels? How dare you take it to Keemstar and the others that I'm aware of? How dare you? So let's not put you in this saintly position of above God and above... No, girl. You were terrible. You were terrible. You saw something that was happening, and instead of reaching out to authorities or even directly telling the person that you were going to take it to somebody else, Tana Mongeau had to sit down and find it out of somebody else that you were selling, in her words, that information to drama channels. How disgusting. Bitch, disgusting. Bitch, disgusting. So, conclusion. One of my whole thoughts on this situation, I thought, well, I could sit down and spend forever telling you the Cody Co situation, but I feel like over the past week and a half, this story has been discussed ad nauseum to no end, and I have nothing to add on to the allegations that were made. I think Cody Co is a piece of shit, quite frankly, and I believe that he needs to come forward and repent to himself, to the world, to his God or whatever deity or figure it is that he may worship, and also to Tana Mongeau. One of the things it is that I saw in the interviews that Tana Mongeau was giving, where she was speaking about wanting to become a mother and protecting her children from the things it is that she went through.
That's what's exciting for me, though. I will say one of the things that brings me like peace and happiness is one day I can't wait to be a mother who loves their children so much
and do it your way.
Absolutely. And you know what I mean? And maybe that was the purpose of all of it. I don't know. I'll never know.
Tana, you were drug up, girl. You had a really hard time. This gives me at least a little bit more clarity into the person you are and understanding as to why you were cognitively just a little bit behind the rest of your friends, because you didn't have the safe and secure upbringing it is that some of your friends had. You didn't have the safe and secure upbringing it is that you deserved. You were spending your time in a household that was extremely volatile with parents that didn't even care that you were giving up on school. You know what I mean? That only really gave a fuck about you once you started making money. That must be a horrible place to be. I wish that you had the love that it is that you deserved. I know you've turned to some horrible things, drugs, alcohol, and I'm glad that you are getting a life coach and speaking to a therapist and trying your best to do better. And I wish nothing but the best for you. And let me tell you, person to person, mother to mother, because I know you're going to be a fantastic mother today. You are going to be a great mom. You are going to be a fantastic mother. And I believe that with all of the fiber in my being, because you have so much love that was denied to you that you are going to bestow onto a beautiful child who is going to adore the care, the time, the attention, and everything it is that you are going to give them in the future. I can't wait for you to become a mum, quite frankly, because I know you're going to be a fucking great one. I hope that in the future that you can forgive the people who f***ed you over. I know that you are very good at forgiveness. I mean, even though I don't understand it because of the f***ing sign over there, we won't forget what James Charles did. But whilst I don't understand it, you seem to have a level of forgiveness for James Charles and what it is that you do. Maybe you empathize. And I know a lot of people empathize with abusers due to what it is that they've been through. But for me, it is quite clear that you were aged up a long time before your time. And the reason that nobody helped was because you viewed her as much more older, more mature, more civilized, more provocative than she actually was. But this isn't a situation where we need to question Tana Mongeau for her decisions as a young person. This is a moment where we need to question the regulation on YouTube for minors, and if minors should be able to put themselves on the internet forever of their own volition at the age of 13 and upwards, and what it is that we can actually do to protect them, including those of us who surround these young influencers at these parties, and what it is that we should be doing to protect them from the influence of drugs, alcohol, and all of those kind of things. Tana, you are doing a great job, sweetie, and you will be fine. That much I know. You're a testament to your character. Anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I just wanted to take a little bit of a different take on the whole Tana Mongeau situation with Cody Co. We've exhausted that topic, so let's talk about why nobody actually gave a when they should have. Honestly, looking back at it, even with me being sick around the time that I heard those allegations, I really should have put more focus on it. And for that much, I can at least say I'm fucking sorry, Tana, you deserve better than that. Because this is something that I literally pride myself on giving a fuck about, is CSA and things of those natures. So I'm sorry that I didn't do enough for you. You know? With that being said, I want to say a massive thank you to D'Angelo Wallace for booming this story up into the moon. I want to say a massive thank you to other individuals like Keemstar for keeping hold of this information and making sure he made this information available to everybody as soon as it was available. I want to thank Tana Mongeau for her strength. I want to thank my team. You guys, you always do an amazing job on these stories. Thank you so much for helping me get all the research together. I've had a few glitches on this video, so we might have a few like blank screens. I don't know what's going on with my camera, so if this is happening throughout my video, I am so freaking sorry. I have no idea why it's happening, but I just want to say a massive thank you, as well as a massive thank you to all of you for all of your support on the last video. I've always said that what I wanted to do on YouTube is be one of those YouTubers who creates content that takes a while to create, but then people show up every freaking time, and I am so proud to say that every single time I upload, you guys show up, even if it's been 10 days, 11 days, and I just appreciate it so much because it means I can really work on shit that I'm proud of. I'm finally, after 8 years of YouTube, living my YouTube dream, and I have nobody to thank but all of you. So I just want to say a massive thank you, because my heart, it could explode. I might film another video whilst I'm out in Mexico, because I'm out in Mexico next week, so you never know, you might get a Mexico video. We'll see if I can actually make that happen. And once again, I would like to say a massive thank you to Twisted Tangle for sponsoring today's video. You can click the download link in the description box down below, or you can scan the QR code, which is located over here, so that you can download this free to download game that you don't even need Wi-Fi for. And until next time, you beautiful, amazing, badass bitches, it's been Paige. Bye.